Hello, friends. Maybe you're getting very tired these days of the shutdown and all of the limitations that are placed upon us. As far as our church reopening, I want to assure you that we're going by the standards set by the Governor Murphy and by the advice of the CDC, as well as what our United Methodist Bishop and this area is allowing us to do. And right now, only about 10 people can meet. So we've decided as a committee called the COVID response team and the reopening team that we are going to put off opening the building up most probably until the beginning of September. Our committee is meeting week after week as we are deciding through Zoom calls on many of the protocols that we will have when we come back to church to ensure safety, that we'll be having social distancing, wearing of masks, cleaning the area before and after we use the sanctuary or whatever part of the facility that we're using. We're working through a number of questions that the conference has given to us, the Methodist Conference, to help us think through how to be safe. Our goal is to not spread the virus and to occasion 0% of anyone having a problem because of what we do or fail to do. Now, this is getting old. It's very tiresome, and there's a lot going on in our country that's very disturbing if you watch the news. Not only the killing of George Floyd, which brings attention to an underlying problem, but then the protests, which have been largely peaceful but seem to at night become very violent. It seems that outside people have come in to destroy some of the areas, even affecting our area here in Burlington, New Jersey, with at least threats. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're trying to be cautious, and I hope that you will stay in, that you will be cautious, and we can pray for all of those who are trying to bring order back into our country, and we hope for a lessening of the tempers and more rational thinking to come in. I was thinking, however, that we need a word of hope, and I think I found one today. It's in the little letter that Paul wrote to the Christians in Philippi, a handful of Christians there. He was in prison, and during that time of his imprisonment, someone had come from Philippi and brought him a gift, and he was very happy. So part of the letter, it's a very short letter, we've divided into 4 chapters in the printed version of the Bible. This was a letter, however, and he wants to say thank you, but he gives a word of encouragement to the Christians living in Philippi who at that very time were experiencing some persecution because they were Christians. Some of them may be having their excluded from some of the social concourse of the day, made fun of. I think it was probably difficult on their children, and having even property confiscated, maybe lawsuits brought against them. So they were fighting a number of battles. When Paul had first preached there, a riot broke out, and he landed in jail there. So he's in jail somewhere else again, and he's acknowledging this gift that they gave him, and he says this: "I am very glad in the Lord, because now at last you have shown concern for me again. Of course you were always concerned, but you had no way to show it. But I'm not saying this because I need anything." Now listen to this. "For I have learned how to be content in any circumstance." I have learned to be content in any circumstance. I know the experience of being in need and having more than enough. I learned the secret of being content in any and every circumstance, whether full or hungry, whether having plenty or being poor. I can endure all these things through the power of the one who gives me strength. I can endure all things through the power of the one who gives me strength. Now, maybe you're feeling depleted. Maybe you're feeling worn out. And I just have a word to say to you. The God that we serve is not a God only in the happy times and delightful periods when everything is smooth. God is very much God even in the turmoil, in the chaos, in the dislocation, in the feeling deprived. Paul wrote this letter from a prison cell. He's received a gift. He's thanking them for it. But he says, I thank you for it because you've shown care for me. You always cared, but you didn't have a way to show it. But now you've sent something to me that was maybe some food, maybe some blankets, some clothing. And he's very grateful. But he said, I'm grateful because of that. But he said, I want you to know that I have learned how to be content in every circumstance. That's the secret. I don't know that I've completely learned that myself. But in times that are good and in times that are bad, in times where we have plenty and in times where we feel that we're in need, in times of good health and in times of sickness, how can we deal with it? The King James Version says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's almost like a theme verse. But this is saying, in this translation, the Common English Bible, I can endure all these things. Poverty, ill health, being in need, even not having enough food. How? Through the one who strengthens me. We never go through life alone. I want to just say to you, the God above us is the God that's with us and for us. It's the God that said, I will never leave you and I will never forsake you. It's the God who through Jesus said, behold, I am with you always, even unto the end of the age. Yes, brothers and sisters, you can endure all these things through Christ who strengthens me. We have some inconvenience right now. We have some discouraging circumstances. Don't give up. Keep your faith. The world around us may be falling apart. All things may seem like they're churning and moving, but God remains the same. Paul believed in Jesus Christ, the same, yesterday, today, and forever. That same good shepherd is with you today. You can endure all things and be content in whatever circumstances you're in. God bless.